Welcome to Rescue Chat Unfiltered. I'm Denise Angus, founder of Mattie's Place Rescue, and now the Rescue Chat Unfiltered podcast. I'm here to bring you forward, insightful conversations about hot topics in the rescue community. Are you ready? Let's get the Rescue Chat started unfiltered. So, welcome back to Rescue Chat Unfiltered. We have the original crew back minus Nicole. I'm keeping her seat warm because in Nicole fashion, she is late. When she gets here, she can just join us and we'll just keep going from there. Man. How have you guys been?
How have you been? I feel like it's been a few weeks.
It's been a lot. I can honestly say I have never felt full in rescue. I've never felt like, oh, I got stress. I mean, there's stress, but I've never felt over my capacity, over my limit. I've been doing adoptions for 20 years. Used to do it through privately in vet clinics. I've never been at the point that I am now, today, in the past 2 weeks. And I'm just going to say 2026 as a whole has gotten me. I'm feeling extreme burnout. I'm feeling stress, which is new for me. I'm not someone that feels stress. And I'm feeling like, holy shit. I feel bad for people that feel stress because I feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm at capacity. And it makes me, say, it's the first time I've ever really contemplated truly being done with rescue. This is not my job. I work full time. Rescue is not profitable in any way for me. I spend a lot of my own money for rescue. And I'm being put through it right now, and I don't know what tomorrow brings. I know we definitely have some changes. Here's a sunshine and face. Is that Nicole?
Hey, friend.
Hey, friend. You're late, and we love you for that.
Dog stuff.
I did have to drop my dog off.
Did you?
Yeah. Your hair looks cute.
Thank you. I have no hair left. It's another stress we're just talking about all the stress in my life. I did a major hair chop. Thank you. I do get my eyebrows done on the regular. A big brow girly. See, you're here, and I feel better already.
She's walking.
That's what makes up for being late.
Thanks for being here. We're just, they just asked me how I was, and now I'm just having my therapy session.
We're commiserating, yeah.
This is Rescue Chat Unfiltered, right? If we were together, and I apologize because I haven't even spoken to you. I've been kind of quiet. I haven't spoken to anyone. I've just been in my own space because I just needed to be in my own space. So I apologize as a friend to my friends, but I just
never apologize.
I know, but I'm just
I think that
not in a friend space right now.
Yeah.
I just need,
and I think that's what makes that, like, we can understand that, right? More than most people.
Yeah, we don't have to be in a friend space all the
No.
time, and I think that's the power of this circle and like doing this
and Sarah
a few
Sarah's
times over the last. Yeah,
and I
we
wish
wish Sarah was
Sarah
here,
was
but
here.
just doing this over the last few months, I think, has been like incredibly therapeutic for all of us because we can see like we're all going through it, and there's so many common threads of like what is causing the burnout, not only for us, but like I think most people in rescue are feeling this. Some extent of this.
Yeah.
Right now. It's wild what we're going through. So
Yeah,
it's been a lot. And I don't know where we go. And I've always said Mattie's Place, there was never this huge long-term plan. I never wanted it to grow. I never wanted it to be, a big registered charity, and it's registered as a business, and that's fine with me because that's how I operate. I am one person at Mattie's Place. I have an amazing driver that has helped out exponentially as of late, Denise, another Denise. And I'm so grateful for her. It gets so confusing though.
All the Denises.
But you know, Mattie's place is me, much like Project Paws. Thanks. It's my stress, man. It's my stress. I can't remember anything anymore. Project Paws is one person.
Heart and Hound.
Thank you. Heart and Hound is one person. Heart's Hound Rescue is one person.
I always say Heart and Hound.
Who knows where the S is? Somewhere.
It's just so you're alive. You're one person. So
I'm not though. Like I do have an amazing team behind me. Like, but I say team like my fosters are my team. Like Chelsea.
Chelsea's your right hand woman.
Yeah.
But the common thread, I think, between a lot of us here in the circle, but like those of us who organically find our way to each other and find our people is like, I think we take a high degree of ownership over every decision that's made. Like we have volunteers who are wonderful and show up for everything that we throw their way and like couldn't do this without them. But at least for me and fosters, any volunteer capacity, fostering, driving, all the things. But like for me at the end of the day, I want to know that if there's a mistake made, I have made it and it's been my decision and I can go back and look at the sequence of events that happened and pinpoint it and like learn forward and publicly and like, you know, come up with my own post about this thing that went wrong and like talk about it and say like, you know, moving forward, we're adjusting our policies because we had this experience or whatever. But like, I want it to be like the buck stops here kind of thing, because I feel like there are some rescues who have gotten so big, again, with all of the best of intentions, that there has been sort of like a loss of that.
There's a disconnect.
Yeah, like there's a disconnect between the people who are making the decisions, handling the funds, saying this is the dog that gets welcomed into my limited foster space. And then when you onboard so many volunteers that there's like a million coordinators and all, like there's so many people with irons in the fire, it gets really complicated. And I'm terrified of having things like get so big, or to Denise's point, like grow beyond
your
the capacity that I want to have, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
for me, I just, I always wanted to do rescue because, well, I did it in honor of Mattie. Like Mattie's place became, like I shifted from doing rescue and adopting pets and working in that sort of world to officially having Mattie's place when my dog passed away, and that was in honor of her. And people were like, you should really, like, you've been doing this, you should really be a rescue.
Yeah.
But it was never supposed to be anything like huge. But there are rescues that want to be big charities and big not-for-profits and, grow to this huge growth. I just do it because it fills my soul to help and I enjoy it. And if it stops being fun and I stop getting joy from it and I sit in where I'm sitting the last 2 weeks, I go, oh no, I don't actually need this in my life.
Yeah, like I think we should talk about that, because I think we all got into rescue because either, like in memory of another dog or, to do good. And then it's like, at what point, how many years in? Like, I mean, how many times do we joke about like, oh, it's like the mafia, you can't get out? Or when somebody's like, oh, I can't, you're doing such good work. I want to do what I can't, like when I grow up, like you talk to younger, and it's like, no, like you shouldn't do that. It's not fun. Like, so I actually say to people, like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But then it's like in the same token, I'm like, I can't imagine not doing it. So like, what's the
It's
balance?
a very similar like addiction pattern almost.
Right.
It's like, I know that this thing is fundamentally probably damaging to me long term.
Yeah.
Like this is so upsetting to me. Like
the stress.
I have great interactions with people all the time, don't get me wrong, but like I have a lot of stressful interactions with a lot of stressful human beings. I have a lot of like extra added pressures on me that I otherwise would not have if I weren't engaging with this thing. Like we can have a very problematic relationship with things that we love and feel good about, right?
We get so much joy. Like I know there's this high that I get when I say, yes, I'm taking that dog or that cat. Yes. Like us with Tom, like Fat Tom.
Yeah.
We were like,
Oh, Fat Dog.
Hillary sent me Fat Tom, and she was like, oh, I just, we just don't have the money for it. And I'm like, oh, look at Fat Tom. Give me
He's so
Fat
cute.
Tom. And we took Fat Tom, and it's like this celebration of Fat Tom. And then we go through like, oh my God,
Ups
Fat
and
Tom's
downs
not
with
eating.
Fat
Oh my God, he's
Tom.
back at Emerge. He's back in the clinic. It's $5,000 later. It's like,
Oh my
we're
God.
talking about euthanasia. Oh, now he's bounced back.
Yeah.
And I go, we should have just left Fat Tom. Like I had that rush of like, yes, let's save the cat.
Goddamn.
And then it's like just been so much ever since. So I like
Yeah.
we don't get enough from it. Like we
No.
don't, there's not enough.
There's no reason that any of us should be doing this for us as long as
No,
we do.
as long
There's
as we
no
have it.
reason.
Yeah.
So I'll touch a little bit more because I just really need to have my girls there.
Do
okay?
it.
My biggest thing on top of so many medical cases that I've taken on is owner surrenders, and I want to talk about that with everyone because I think it's an important conversation. A big stress right now and it's not just that. If it was just this, I would be fine, but it's just that this was sort of the last pile on of a really long 2 weeks. So I got a call last week about a little Roddy puppy from an emergency clinic. And they said, we have a puppy, guarded prognosis, but if we do treatment, I'm sure we can get this puppy through. $6,000 to $10,000 with a rescue rate, which I need to stress. There's rescues get rescue rates. It's not the public rate. It's a rescue rate.
Yeah.
The family did not have the funds. They had some funds. They didn't have, in their words, all the funds. I wasn't there, but there are vet records, and this vet has very clear vet records of every step and every conversation, which was great. And they're legal documents, and a vet has no reason to lie.
And maybe you should, because a lot of people don't understand when it's not like when something like that happens, the vet is advocating for that animal
100%.
and they are reaching out to rescues to
Correct.
see if they can help because the owners.
So the owner opted to euthanize this puppy. They had funds, they didn't have funds, whatever the fund situation was. At the end of the day, and I wasn't there, but I have the vet records that state that there were not enough funds and they opted to euthanize the puppy. And I'm sorry, but that's what the decision was. The vet then said, according to the records, let me reach out to rescues instead of euthanizing. Let's try and find a rescue to take the puppy. It's only 5 months old. His name is George. And they called me and I said, yeah. And, to be honest, initially I said, I am up to here with medical cases. I said, I need you guys to really try and cap this at $5,000. Like I am really pushing my max funding availability right now, but let's save this dog and do what we have to do. Yeah. And they said, we can't, she actually went and talked to me. She's like, we can't cap it. We can cap it maybe around $10,000. I said, I know it was worth asking though.
You don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's save the puppy. I got that good feeling. We're saving a puppy.
Got the fix.
So the people went online. They were directed by the veterinarian to go on our website, complete the surrender form, which is called a surrender form on the website, and goes through all the boxes. And at the end, it says, do you understand you were surrendering your puppy? The vet also, according to the vet records, it's clearly listed. They understand they will not get updates. They will not get their dog back. And to be honest, I give owners updates and I'm not you
not
can
a
never
stickler
hear
on it,
anything
no.
ever again.
Yeah.
But that's just what the vet said, and they're not getting their dog back, and they're agreeing, and they agreed. So instead of euthanizing, they surrendered, and they completed my surrender form. I told the puppy's story because that's the puppy's story, and He was hit by a car and went into emerge, and they didn't have the funds. They didn't have the funds to pay for it.
Yeah.
Whether they had 500 or 5,000, whatever it was, they didn't have the full funds for the puppy and opted to euthanize. That's the story, and that's the truth. And then they surrendered. And of course, like we've all seen time and time again, once the puppy was stable and things were underway, and I did my post saying, the puppy was going to be euthanized. Now they want their puppy back. It's all a lie. The vet lied. The vet did this. The vet did that. 1 star. They've got 1-star reviews piling up because they have all their family leaving 1-star reviews. They were trolling
That
the
was
Facebook
awful. I
page
was so mad about that.
to the point today, just when I was coming over today, Sarah's like, those Rottweiler people messaged me because she had commented and they messaged her, they're lying.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, it was like they're messaging everybody. The person that saw the accident happen, he reached out to me when it happened. And I mean, I'm not going to share what she said, but I am very comfortable not giving this dog back to these people.
Yeah.
So he was thankfully discharged on Friday. He has to wear a nylon muzzle for 1 month, which is really going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And on top of not having money, they were probably not in a position. He's with
For aftercare. Yeah.
for aftercare.
Yeah.
Like this is a lot.
I was
To
gonna say, I don't
muzzle
even
a
know what that
puppy.
entails to do the.
He needs to. So his jaw is broken, so he needs to keep the muzzle on. It's a
Is
nylon
it like
muzzle.
liquid feeding?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
God, poor guy.
For a month, so that his jaw can heal. And we can't surgically correct it because if they put a plate in it, his jaw is trying to grow at 5 months, and if they
Right.
stop the growth, now you have a bigger problem. His jaw will start twisting. So the only option is to nylon muzzle. So he can't even pant. Like there's a lot of risks with it. So
Yeah.
he's with a registered veterinary technician.
Amazing.
He is minutes away from an emergency clinic, not the one he's being treated at. Because of his owners, I had to send him out of town, unfortunately. But his owners want their dog back, and they have been messaging everyone. They were spamming the Facebook page, leaving all their 1-star reviews, emailing me all through the night, threatening legal action, threatening me. They've contacted City News. Tomorrow, so today's Sunday, I don't know, whatever date it is today.
Are you doing it? The 19th.
The 19th. So the timing with this, when this is released,
Yeah.
I'm doing the
The interview?
interview
Good.
tomorrow.
Good.
Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know how the news will spin it. That's, I guess, the reporter's version of how he sees it, and that's fine. But public perception is public perception, and half of the public will take the side of the owner. The other half will take my side on this. It will become a thing.
But let's be clear, it's not the owner anymore because
Yeah.
they surrendered their dog to you.
Yeah.
And they did that knowing that their dog was going to live.
They should
Because
just
they
not have
surrendered
surrendered
their
the dog.
dog.
I don't understand how you fill out a surrender form and then later on, when your dog is on the mend, ask for your dog back.
demand. Demand.
Yeah, okay. If they asked, it would have been, a maybe, I'm sure. But, if the dog was well cared for prior to this event,
so
or
many
if it wasn't
factors.
such a reckless accident that could have been, would you adopt to them?
You know
that
what?
would be-
I have covered costs of care for people, and I've taken dogs in and returned dogs.
if you would adopt to them and if you felt like it
If
wasn't going
they-
to happen again,
If-
or
if they had, I don't know. I've never spoken to them, and I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So I can only judge them by what I've now seen from them and from what I've heard from other people. And the answer is a hard no. I
And
will
from the
not give
vet,
them the dog
Which
back.
is, to your previous point, they have no, that is a very objective
Yeah, and
opinion.
they're
Like, that's,
taking
the vet has no reason to be siding anyway based
zero.
on anything other than their medical opinion. Like, that's it.
Zero.
That's it.
And now they're calling the vet a liar, and and on top of everything, the world needs to soften to veterinarians. We've recently had another veterinarian take her life. The suicide rate is extremely high in the vet industry. And, people have always piled on because it's expensive. Vet care has always been expensive. It's even more expensive now. But I'm so tired of people piling on veterinarians too. It's just the whole thing. And this vet clinic is getting it as well. And
Which then in turn, it's like that vet clinic is like, why would we help
Ever
rescue?
help
well,
a
they're not
rescue
going
again,
to.
right?
But this is the thing, right? Like vet clinics are just going to be like, okay, you want to euthanize it? We'll euthanize.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, I had a parvo puppy on Friday that a clinic reached out to me and I said no. And I said no solely based on what I'm going through with this owner. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't even know that I'm going to take any more medical owner surrenders. And I don't even know if I'm going to take any more owner surrenders. And we were just talking about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
And Sarah and I were like, we take so many owner
Never
surrenders.
had
and
an
it's
issue.
great.
Never problems.
It's been fine.
No,
You
'cause
just
I'm the
yeah,
one who
because
I'm like, I'm scared of owner surrenders. Like I think I can count on one hand in 5 years the number of owner surrenders that I've taken because like you just hear horror stories and you get so much backlash in cases like this that
Well, it literally just
it
happened to
spooks
us
you.
too.
You're
Like
like, I
I
don't-
posted before the Rottweiler stuff. In our group, I was like, this just with the Mal puppy that was surrendered.
Oh,
Like a week
right.
later, I get like all these messages like of the owner somebody pretending to be the owner. Turns out it's her sister. Then a paralegal's involved, and
this
I'm
makes
like,
us paranoid
what?
too because it's like now I not only have to worry about you, the person who surrendered your dog, trying to get your dog back, but you're sending people with different names, like
Yes.
suspiciously applying to adopt the dog, and then they're gonna give it to you post adoption.
I've had that
If I don't
happen.
do my like, it's literally like you are driving rescues to the point of being.
We don't want to help. I
And
even said I was
yeah.
like, I'm not doing owner surrenders anymore because like when I first started Hanks, this happened with a couple Chihuahuas, and she actually took me a small claims court, and again, by the time you get there, it's years later, right? Nothing happened, but it's like, why do I have to take the time out of my day to fight this?
Yeah.
When we take in your animal, we vet them, we find them good homes, they get the training support they need, like.
And you surrendered your pet.
Period.
The end. Full stop. Done. You surrendered your pet.
And it's not even just like a direct surrender through me. It's like you went through other like avenues, like through shelter avenues before it even got to me. So it's like there's a paper trail of all these people that you tried to surrender your dog to that also know the story, but then you're still coming back.
And let's be clear too, like vet clinics are not taking time out of their day to go to extreme measures to work down their contact list and assign, their veterinary receptionist at the desk this 2 hours of work to, track down and find a rescue that has the resources, the time, the energy, and the effort to put the work into this dog. Like there's a few and far between vet clinics that will do that. And there's going to be fewer and fewer because they are scared off of doing this because of the backlash that they
And there's
receive.
very few rescues that take owner surrenders and even fewer that take medical
That's what I was
owners.
going to say. Was
gets their
there's
hand
no
up for
rescues.
those. Yeah.
Rescues are not
No.
lining up, knocking on the door of vet clinics saying, "I'm begging you
For
to
that
have me
$10,000
step
puppy."
in
Yeah.
on a $10,000 puppy that may or may not do great."
And
Let's
like
do
I
this.
used
like nobody's competing for these dogs.
No, and I used to like pride myself on the fact that like I give people chances and I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I've had owner surrenders that actually foster for me, that adopt from me
Yeah.
later because the dog that they surrendered was literally just not a right fit for them.
Yeah.
But they were amazing people.
Yeah.
But it's like the people that the Mal puppy people
Yep.
literally rip that out from everyone because I don't want to do it anymore. It's so stressful.
So where is it at with your Mal puppy?
Oh, he's not getting back. They're not getting it back. Oh, it just like that just kind of after the paralegal contacted me and she was like, she spent like an hour and a half trying to convince me to
Give a little bit
the
of
puppy back.
context about this puppy, Nicole, because like for people who are listening who don't know what we're talking about, this puppy is
It's adorable. I want to eat it.
adorable
I saw
in
it
the wrong
today.
hands could be a deadly weapon if you
Correct. Yes,
bring
it's a
this puppy into
Belgian
your home. And
Malinois
yes, so
puppy,
go on.
yes.
Yeah.
That was in a home that they couldn't take care of. Well, maybe they took care of it, but it was too much for which for most people a Mal puppy would be too much. Like it's not a regular puppy.
Yeah.
And they had it for 3 weeks and then wanted to surrender it. So I was like the third person that, not that they had contacted, but the kind of circle like it went back to. And I picked the puppy up and that was that.
Yeah.
And you're always good with recording and videos and all
Yeah, and I
this stuff.
video. Yeah, I
That's
video.
why people want it back, is because they see all the cool stuff that Nicole takes these dogs who are working breeds, and then she does all this cool shit with them. They're like, oh, damn, like I lost out on this real, like you were not going to be able to do that with this dog because you were not going to put the time and energy into
For sure.
training it this way. But like now that you see somebody doing all
he
of
has
that.
an actual chance now, right, to fulfill his.
And why do they want their dog back?
Okay, so my suspicion is that because it eventually just came down to money, right? At the end of the day, like when I'm like, I'm not giving the puppy back. I'm sorry. It was like, well, we paid all this money for him. So my suspicion is that they told somebody like, oh, like they're like, where's your puppy? And they were like, oh, I surrendered to a rescue. And somebody was like, I would have given you this much money for that puppy.
Oh, I would have paid you for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So that's my best guess.
Did they get it from a breeder?
Well, a breeder that wouldn't take them back, because that was my first question too.
Yeah.
Was like, have you contacted the breeder? Yep, but they won't take him back.
There's just no, and I mean, we're doing a podcast in a few weeks with some breeders. I have some breeders and rescues and somebody that's in puppy mill stuff. So we're gonna have that's gonna be a good podcast about ethical breeding.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's just no good breeders anymore. Like,
I don't think so either.
But that's a huge red flag.
because-
If you're trying to pick one and you say, what happens if I bring my puppy home and it's just not a fit? If they say, sorry, don't come to me, run. Like, that's
and
so obvious to me.
To me, like even without knowing who this breeder is, it's like, but knowing who this family is like, what kind of vetting are you doing for your owners?
Yeah.
Why are you why are you selling a Belgian Malinois to that family that has a big backyard for him? Like,
Your
but
your
how
bottom
many
line is your
fence?
bottom line.
Okay,
Yeah, working
like
dog.
he wants out of that yard. He's going to climb that fence. Like,
Yeah, what was their
But
reasoning
we don't
for
need
wanting
working
that
dogs
Yeah.
really anymore. I mean, most of our dogs go to families.
Yeah.
We don't really need all these, purebred dogs anymore. I mean, we don't. So I don't see the point in breeders breeding.
Not to the volume that we are
maybe
producing
not-
them
you're
for
right.
sure.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
we need
and
a
I don't want to
few, but
because I know this is going to be in the podcast, so I don't want to like take a whole bunch of time with it. But I think the difference now in the kind of verbiage that needs to be used is, instead of ethical and responsible breeding, it's preservation breeders.
Yeah.
So when you're looking for a breeder, you want somebody that is literally preserving the breed.
Yeah.
So they have temperament tests going back however many years. They have genetic testing and like all the OFA, all those letters, right?
All
For
the
elbows,
acronyms.
hips, all
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
eyes, all that stuff. And their dogs are titled and stuff, right? So
and
if
I
you
just
want,
don't think though that those breeders are out there. Like, and
don't
I
either.
said this
I
the
don't
other
believe it. I
day,
think it's
and I'm not
bullshit.
against breeding, but I think that the breeders that are doing preservation breeding, you don't hear about them because they
Not
have
in
a wait
Ontario.
list
yeah.
of years. Their reputation already is out there,
Yeah.
and they don't need to be putting dogs on Kijiji.
No.
And then I had a couple commenters on my Facebook page say, oh, well, we're ethical breeders and we do genetic testing and we do have our dogs
Of
on
our
Kijiji.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
of the
you-
mutts that we intentionally breed.
Yeah, you don't. If you are really, truly an ethical breeder, you don't need to be advertising your dogs.
No.
Like,
And if you make this comment, that exact point, on any pages that allow, like, I'm sure we've all seen it in the, like, puppies and dogs for adoption and sale in Ontario. And like, there will be breeders
Yes.
in there
posting
posting
there.
their litters for, and
Yep.
if you say in the comments very nicely and respectfully, like, like wondering what testing you're doing, like asking them very basic questions that anybody who's worth anything and who stands by their stuff should be able to answer you, they will lose their mind in the comments. They'll usually message like an admin of the page and say, this rescue is bullying me. And then you get, I think it was Sarah maybe that I was talking about this with, but like we just keep getting, rescues get booted from those groups because we just can't help ourselves.
we
I
call them-
can't help myself.
Yeah.
And I say, this person is breeding mutts. They're breeding doodles to make money. And like, that is it. That's all.
Well, and they'll even use like those keywords to try to trick people, right? So right. So like right. So health guarantee. But if you look
What
on
does
the
that
fine
mean?
print, what does that mean? It's for a year.
Yeah.
And really, if you get that dog and it in a year has something wrong with its elbows, are you giving it back to the breeder?
No,
Yeah,
because
what's
the
gonna
breeder will
happen?
say,
How does that-
give it
yeah,
back to us. We're just going
exactly.
to euthanize and you can have another one.
Exactly.
People
Yeah.
aren't giving their puppy back.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not happening. It's
And
a
the
tactic
breed
that
that-
breeders use.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the breed that Nicole is talking about, like I feel like different breeds come in and out of style every few every time that there's a Disney movie or a feel good action movie where there's like a featured I don't know what the most recent movie was that was like retired military Belgian Malinois, like, and his companion, like that breed immediately boomed. All these sketchy, shitty breeders were like, oh, I'm gonna like
Yeah.
slip in here and meet that demand. Everybody goes out and gets themselves like a working protection dog or a dog that is supposed to have those traits and is like, I'll bring it home to my family and like put it in the backyard with the kids. I'm like, what could go wrong? And then I'm like, you see one dog that gets into the right hands eventually with somebody like Nicole, and you're like, imagine this puppy in a home with a
regular home.
family.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And that's just like going on everywhere because this breed was popular for a hot minute and a bajillion breeders
Well, and
rose to meet
even
that
like
tidal wave.
so like even as a trainer, like when people come and bring their dog, it's like, what are the issues? It's like, well, they won't stop like nipping the kids when they're running around. And it's like, oh, what kind of dog is
Border
it?
Collie.
It's like,
A
oh,
healer.
it's a healer. And I'm like, right. Yeah. Or like I'll say, like, did you guys research the breed before? Did you know that these were the traits? And they're like, we do now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right. Like, it's why did you purchase that breed, or why?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they were so
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they are. They're all babies are cute too, but
Yeah.
Think about the Dalmatian. The Dalmatian is like the most heartbreaking story of this to me. Like, that is a very intense breed. I have never intaked
And
one.
come with a lot of medical risks.
And they've got stuff. And like so many people are like, a Dalmatian because Disney, and like this is so cute to have with
Yeah.
my kids and my family. Like,
no,
as
they're-
someone with kids now, I don't think that I could safely
No.
be like, yeah, come to my house with my little kids.
Yeah.
But
and
that's who went and
most of them.
that's mostly who went and bought those dogs.
And I don't know any good breeder of Dalmatians. Like the majority of them having like are literally born with like high anxiety, right? And it's just, they're just not meant for a regular home. A lot of dogs that we're seeing now are just not meant for regular homes, which is sad because
So let's talk about that. It's a great segue into another stressor in my life. I was going to talk about all my stressors today.
I need to adjust myself.
Is people that get so
I feel so
angry
jealous.
when
I'm like, I need to.
it's Dean's living room. It's okay.
What are you jealous about? Take your shoes off.
going
Yeah. No need
All
to
of
be
you, everyone's
jealous.
taking their shoes
It's
off.
their second time here. We're fine.
Yeah, it's like home now.
I live here now.
Be honest, Dean, who's your favorite?
Me.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
She's
I pay the
paying
bill, of
it.
course, of course.
Good answer.
Oh, a great time to say, please subscribe. We need 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel in order to start making money. So let's get this monetized. Thanks, Dean, for liking me.
Now you're gonna get messages that are like, "See, she's a whole bit of money. She just wants."
Yeah, absolutely. This is all of this.
Cash cow.
Renting Dean's living room doesn't come cheap. That's for sure. It's a great conversation to have. Let's talk about our, potential adopters and how angry people get about not getting the dog that they want, and about people wanting to adopt a dog that just doesn't fit their lifestyle, which we see. And there's so much right now on social media about how difficult it is to adopt a dog. And I for one, I'm going to say, when people message me and they're like, well, we're just going to go buy a dog, I go, yeah,
Okay, fine.
go buy a dog. It makes no difference to me.
Don't try to bait me.
It doesn't matter. You want to go buy a dog and have problems and be on your own, go buy a dog.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And I don't hold on to that guilt whatsoever. I will not adopt a dog that isn't a match for somebody. So what are you guys seeing? And like, how do we help people to understand sort of what they need to look for in dogs and adoption and the route and help them to understand when we go, this isn't the right dog for you. And a lot of times, like not a lot of times, sometimes I've said, look at this isn't the dog for you, but this
kind
is.
is.
Yes,
And they
yes,
go,
yes,
no,
yes.
that's not the dog I
And then
want.
I'm like, you're not my adopter then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it seems like we can't win and rescues, people online are like, well, I have a backyard and I have dog experience and no rescue will adopt. I just had this happen the other day with Bandit. So Bandit is a dog that was hit by a car, another owner surrender, and it was a fucking nightmare still with another owner surrender. But he went through surgery, broke an elbow, and of course he's a golden retriever, so lots of applications came in. Bandit is having a real struggle. He is a 1-year-old dog. And he has to remain on leash because he just had an $8,000 elbow surgery and he needs to heal. And he needs to remain on leash. And he's like, fuck this. I don't want to be on leash anymore. I want to run. I want to play. I'm 80 pounds and I want to I'm done. And I'm going to destroy beds and I'm going to just be a jerk because I'm over it. He's now, I put him in a boarding kennel because there he's not stimulated by a foster and a foster home. He can just not think about things and just rest. But applications,
I don't want to rest.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure him out. He's going to spend a week with Nicole. Nicole's a trainer for anyone that doesn't know, and she's going to assess him and kind of help him get him through some stimuli stuff. But somebody I know applied to adopt him, and I've just kind of slowed the adoption because he's going through stuff, and I need to make sure he goes somewhere that can manage this frustration right now. So you need to be able to adopt him for who he is today and forever. Everyone just thinks he's this perfect little golden, which he is, but not right now. He'll come up the leash. He's mouthy. He's frustrated. He'll chew a dog bed apart. They went and bought a puppy. The people, one person that applied for him, and they're Facebook friends with me, and they posted yesterday, our golden puppy. And I said, and everyone in the comments, congratulations. And that stuff just makes me seethe.
It literally, I had this
Congratulations
conversation on
on
the
your
steps
purple.
with Hillary. It makes me not want to be I have personal friends who I am no longer friends with because I cannot stomach seeing that shit. I'm like, you literally know what I cry and bleed over constantly.
And those same people will be the same ones, if something happens with that puppy, be the first
I'm the
ones.
first call
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just can't, I can't stomach, I cannot compartmentalize. I'm just now reaching the stage that Denise just mentioned where it's strangers can try to emotionally blackmail me to get the dog that they want. And I'm now okay, fine, whatever. Took me a while to get there because a while ago it would be I'm staying up at night knowing that these strangers to me are out there shopping on Kijiji for a puppy. Now I'm okay, whatever. People are going to do that and whatever. But if it's a personal friend of mine or somebody that I know, that actually pains my soul.
So I had that happen a couple of years ago with someone I considered a friend. A good friend. Maybe not good friend, but we were friends for a long time and we have mutual friends. And she went and got a standard poodle from somebody off Kijiji, and she was 100% a mill mom just based on her condition when she was surrendered to me 3 days after that. And she was surrendered because she was nervous of life, essentially. And this person had kids, and long story short, and I didn't find this out until probably weeks later, the day that I got her poodle, she had already arranged to pick up another puppy from someone off Kijiji near where I live.
Oh.
And I was
I'm cleaning up your mess, and
It
you're
feels like a load of
making
slots.
another one.
It was like, and I don't think anyone really understands like that slap in the face, like, because it's like, well, you're a rescue. That's what you do.
No.
Well, this person, of course, I commented and I said, I don't even remember, but something along the line of just out of my frustration. I was like, I hope you enjoy this backyard breeder puppy
Yeah.
that you applied for Bandit.
But
just
she
2 weeks
never
ago.
said to you she wasn't gonna. So she left you on hold, kind of.
Well, no, I never spoke to.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't even gone through.
Okay.
I've gone
All right.
through applications, but I need to focus on Bandit
Gotcha.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog in front of me.
He's not ready for adoption.
Yeah.
So they filled out an application 2 weeks ago. Obviously, they haven't heard from me, so they went and bought a puppy.
That quick though.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
switched that.
Just like that.
immediately.
So I said in
Yeah.
the comments, like I hope you enjoy the backyard red dog. Like whatever I said.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I donate to rescues, including yours. And I said, donating to a rescue doesn't stop the pain and torture and everything that backyard breeders put their dogs through. And you're solely just
You are
supporting.
donating to rescues. You are funding cruelty
Yeah.
Yeah,
and abuse and neglect. Like you are
Neglect.
literally. Oh,
So I just like,
and just adding to our consumption society, right? Like,
everyone
Everything's
needs it now.
disposable.
Like they need it
Everything
now.
needs it
That's the problem.
immediately,
I've
like-
had people apply, and I call them 2 days later, and they have a dog.
Yeah.
They already have another dog from another rescue.
I'm just like, oh, okay.
Which is also a red flag. Like if any rescue is adopting a dog
Yeah.
the same day or the
Yeah.
next day and not giving people, like I will admittedly say, I'll invite people to telephone interviews.
yeah.
And I say in that specifically, like this could take a while.
Yeah.
Like don't expect to talk to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is going to take a while because I really want people to sit and marinate in it. And I've had a couple of people just the past 2 weeks be like, oh, we found another dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you don't have your eye on the prize. You're
No.
not,
You
But-
didn't want this dog bad enough to wait.
to just wait
Yeah,
a week
like,
or two.
you want
like,
your adopters to really want that dog. You
Yeah.
know, that's their dog.
and my telephone interview email specifically says, I am not working with any other applicant. It is you and me.
Yes.
That's it until we get through this or we decide this isn't the right
Isn't
fit.
it? Yeah.
So I just need your patience and it's going to take a while
Yeah.
before we connect, but just hang in there. And people are just like, oh, got another dog, got
Yeah,
another
yeah.
dog, found another dog.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side where you don't, which I squirreled myself here, but like people get so angry when you're like, this isn't your dog.
Yes.
And people are going online like rescues suck and we can't, we buy dogs because it's too hard to adopt from rescues. And just my headspace the last 2 weeks, like it just makes me want to combust.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how do we make people understand? Like we are hard, be thankful we're hard to adopt from.
Yeah.
Because we're
But
making
not.
sure.
We're not. It's not hard to adopt. It's just
No.
if it's the right fit, it'll happen, But
And if
it has
feels
to be
hard
the right fit.
adopt-
And it's going to be easier for you. You don't want a dog that comes into your home that's a nightmare and doesn't fit your lifestyle. You need a dog that's going to be smooth transition, and it can be. It doesn't have to be hard. And we know because we've been doing this for a long time, so we can see way ahead the road, and we know that this isn't the right dog for you. I had somebody apply for Moxie, and on my application it says vet information and what dogs have you owned in the last 10 years. They didn't put anything down, so they were, I don't know, in their 30s. So I'm like, okay, well, this must be your first dog. And I said, I'm looking for somebody with a little more dog experience for this dog,
Yeah.
but I have, this dog. And they were like, no, we can, we went back and forth on that with email. And I'm just like, I saved you a headache. I really did. And it's not a bad dog. It's just, she's going to require someone with more dog experience.
Yeah.
And that's it.
because what happens when we're like, oh yeah, we'll take you at your word. You said you can do.
Sorry, let me do Dean's job.
Okay.
We fixed that one.
I don't even know what's happening. Okay.
Meow.
I
Please don't leave that.
He told me.
Leave that in.
This feel is so far away from her. Why is this thing in my face then?
I don't know.
Like, let me just move this out. Go.
Go. So yeah, like what happens if we're like, people are like, oh yeah, like I have all this experience, and we're like, okay, yeah, you can have this dog, and then shit hits the fan.
6
What
months
happens?
later,
The
6 months
dog
later, you
comes
get the
back.
dog back a mess.
Yeah,
a total mess.
A total mess. We're foster based. We might that foster that was fostering that dog might not,
Yeah.
probably doesn't,
Yeah, probably can't
take that dog back.
these days.
And now what? We have to invest in board and trains, or there's medical going on that you didn't fix, like or you didn't see. Like there's so many factors that people don't realize go into that decision.
But that's why it's harder to adopt a dog from a rescue, because we're thinking about it from that standpoint, because there was a post where someone said the SPCA is so much easier, and I don't think they take their dogs back. I don't know.
They don't.
Okay.
They don't. Most shelters don't.
Okay, so
No.
this is why it's so much easier to walk in there and grab a dog, because they're not thinking about, what
Down the
happens
road.
if this dog comes back.
Well,
They
was
just
it
want to
that-
get it out.
The OSPCA posted one time, we were all like, they had the Great Pyrenees puppy somewhere, and they were like, come and adopt one or two
100%.
or three.
Oh,
Like, come
the
and
post implied. I don't know if they meant it this way or if it was just worded absurdly, but it was something about an adoption event coming up, right? And it was
No,
like,
it was
we
they were
have-
there.
They
we
were
have
there.
we have this litter of
Yeah, they
Great
could go that
Pyrenees
day.
puppies, which are livestock guardian dogs. Like, again, this is another breed that's like not for everyone, probably not for you. And it was like,
Come
come
fill
and
in an application.
adopt your best friend or maybe 2 or 3. And everybody in rescue was like, like litter mate syndrome and like all the things and like, oh my god, like no,
and
no,
they
no,
were
no, no.
adopting them from the event.
From that day. Yeah, you could take that.
You
Oh,
walk into
right
the event,
then and
leave with a
there.
puppy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and
That's how I
pet-
got my cat.
That's crazy.
In a box.
So-
and I left with her. So
yeah, and PetSmart, actually, if you're one of their adoption partners, which we are, you have to be a registered charity.
yeah, you have to adopt that day.
They want us to adopt
Yes.
it that day. And when I applied for a grant last year through them, it was how we could make adoption more accessible for other
Yeah.
people. And so I put in a ton of stuff about like training support and like whatever, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I got denied because they wanted someone that would adopt that day. And I'm like,
quick.
I
don't
can't
feel
do
good
it.
about
I don't feel
that.
good about it.
No.
And I don't think
But
They
they
should be
want
s-
that. They want that, quick, like in their store.
It's the
I mean-
commodification of all, like,
Yeah.
this is all so transactional, and it's the immediacy, and it's the, like, I think Denise brought up the, like, puppy yoga and, like,
Oh,
adoption
yeah.
events.
We're going to talk
Oh,
about
we'll-
that.
we'll
We're gonna
jump
talk
forward to
about
that, but, like,
today.
There's just so many things. Maybe it's just that I'm thinking about it more, so I'm noticing it more. Maybe this has always been the case, but, like, I feel like every other day now I'm seeing an event posted by a rescue or a shelter that's, like, implying walk in, fill out a 1-pager, and walk out with a puppy or a cat, and, like, this is really great for you, like, our shelters, numbers, stats. Like,
Yeah.
it looks great. I've worked at a shelter before. I get how all of that works. The optics translates to donated dollars, and, like, I get how that machine has to rumble along, but, like, at what cost? And how, like, it makes me actually wonder how many animals, like, annually in the GTA we're seeing adopted from a shelter or an animal services, like, open intake facility that is, not going into the right home because those facilities don't have the resources, the time, the staff to be doing all of the home checks and the
But if
reference
we
checks
do it
and the calls.
individually, they have the time.
But
And
I
they
have
to.
my-
They
have
should.
to.
They really
have
should, but
to.
they aren't doing that. And I'm
I-
wondering how many of those dogs are ending up with one of our rescues eventually
Oh,
down
yeah,
the road,
for
right?
sure.
Because they're not.
Last year, I did the stat on that from my intake
I wanna
forms.
see it.
So just based on because one of my questions is where did your dog come from? And I think it was 13% of my intake forms
Oh, wow.
were from a shelter. They had gotten their dog from a shelter, and people don't want to return. It's always like, and I always say,
I don't
just
want my
return
dog
the
to go
dog
back
to
to
the
the
shelter.
shelter.
I don't want my
Yeah.
dog to go back to the shelter. Well, you got the dog from there. You
Yeah.
have to take
Yeah.
the dog back.
Yeah.
Or when I push, they say the shelter can't take the dog back.
Yeah.
So it's a high number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
like
think
13% that's a lot of dogs.
it's a lot for one rescue. That's just my rescue
Yeah.
on my intake forms.
and there are like shelters that do take there are some shelters that go above and beyond. There are.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, yeah, like I work with one and they're great. But they're, for the majority of, I would say, shelters are not doing that.
And people have to understand too, like the shelters that are doing that are making decisions with lives when they do that. Like we all pull from some of the same Ontario shelters and like open intake facilities that are fulfilling animal control contracts. Like they don't just have that spot didn't stay empty when you adopted your dog 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago. Like 1 or 2 or 5 dogs might have cycled through there. And like if they're taking your dog back, they're making an active decision that like that space is not going to be available for another dog that needs it. Like this all trickles down, right? Like it's not just as simple as like, oh, I gave it my best shot and I adopted this dog from the shelter and like now I'll just kick the can and like a rescue will clean this up. Like I think this brings us back to the intentionality of like you're applying to take care of this dog for the rest of its life. And like I know we've all talked about how many frustrating like returns or like foster moves and stuff we've had lately. Like I just feel like the commitment levels, maybe again I'm just like pessimistic more these days, but I don't feel like the commitment is there with the adoptions that I've been doing recently. And like even the fostering, like I just don't feel like the commitment is there from people like it used to be, to be like I'm gonna stick it out even when this gets tough,
Yep.
or like there is training that's needed, or like
Yeah.
my dog needs the vet more than their annual booster, like whatever. Like
We have one of the podcasts coming up. I have 2 Ontario shelters that are happy to come on, which
Yeah.
I'm thankful for. I think I talked to you guys about it.
yeah,
You should come on that one though, because you worked in shelters, and Sarah's going to come on because she's got some experience too. It's a good conversation to have from a shelter perspective
yeah,
because they're going through it. But like I think when it comes to adoption, you can go and buy a dog off Kijiji. That's the easy way. Go give them your money and walk away. You can go to a shelter. You can walk in, and I think mostly walk out with a dog.
Yep.
It gets a little trickier with. Then you can go to, I guess, a preservation breeder if you can find one that doesn't have a huge wait list. So it'll take time, but they put you through some stuff, I think. And I think the hardest, and I don't want to say it's hard. I'm proud to say it's hard to adopt from me. I don't know, it's hard to adopt from me because I have high expectations.
Yeah.
But that also comes with I will support you
yeah.
for the dog's life. That's the last thing I say to anyone. Like when I'm dropping a dog off to them, I always say that I'm here for this dog for the rest of its life, whether it's 2 days or 15 years. If you need me, I'm here. If you need food, if you need money, if you need advice, if you need consoling, whatever it is, I'm here for this dog for the rest of its life. And if I'm not here, there's provisions made in my will. There's somebody that will take over any dogs that are still alive post my passing. So I think when you adopt, and I'm sure you guys are exactly the same, when you adopt a dog from a rescue and you go through all of it, there's a reason for it, because these dogs matter to us and we'll be there to support you for the rest of that dog's life.
And I think that like adds to the burnout, that part, when I think about like how much I love and care for all of my animals that come through our care. Like I love them all. Like when they see me, they're so happy because, like I have a relationship with all of the animals that come through our care. So it's like, how can I care so much about all of them? And then like one person can't give that, even just a quarter of that care to the dog that I adopted.
Well, you went through it, Isabel.
Oh my God. I don't want to cry, but like, let's just summarize this thing that we talked about recently with us. Like, I had a dog recently who was adopted out from me from the shelter that you're having someone on from. So open intake facility, these folks applied to foster initially. They ended up like fostering to adopt. So they were like all in on this dog, came to the shelter to meet her, took her home as a foster dog, adopted her, loved her. Everything's great. Got updates that she's, an awesome dog. They had a senior dog at the time. He had since passed away. I get a call that I missed and then a text message from this family who adopted the dog, frantic out of a vet clinic. Dog's injured. The knee needs TPLO surgery. We can't afford it. We don't want to put her down. So essentially, it sounds like they're like, we're making decisions right now. So we're texting back and forth, and I'm like frantic at this point, being like, okay, like let me set up like a call with my vets, like the vet who initially, saw her for her spay. Like, let's get some different quotes here. Like, what vet are you at?
And you
Why are
messaged
they?
us to say, hey, like,
I messaged our little group
Yeah.
chat being like, oh my God, like my worst nightmare. This dog, like these people did not get pet insurance, I'm sure, and that's why they're being quoted. Another ding ding ding, getting pet insurance. If this story means anything to you, please get pet insurance. And like as I'm texting these people and I haven't heard back, and it's been like 30 minutes, it's been 45 minutes, it's been an hour, and I'm like texting them and I'm frantic, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I haven't heard back from you guys. Do you need me to make a call to my vet? Tell me how you want to proceed. Do you want to surrender her back to me? It was like, no, actually, we just like we opted to euthanize her. She couldn't support her weight, and like she was just recovering from a sore other leg, and like she just like it wasn't going to be fair to her to like put her through surgery and then like the recovery from TPLO. How many dogs have you put through TPLO surgery?
so many.
Yeah,
This is a
something.
very common, routinely done surgery that dogs recover
It's just hard
from.
work for an owner. Like you
The
gotta go
recovery
through
sucks.
it, but
Yeah,
the
like
recovery is horrible, but you get
it's
through
great
it.
rest, and it sucks for a young, healthy dog, which this dog was. Like I showed you, I've made a post about this dog. She's stunning, otherwise healthy, and like I texted him after the fact and was like, I would love to know what vet was comfortable euthanizing an otherwise healthy dog without making a single call. Like protocol would be similar to what the vet did with George, Denise's Roddy puppy, which is like, I've got a dog, owners can't afford what my recommended care is. Can you step in? And I absolutely would have. Like I would have figured it out. Like we would do surgery on this dog. And to make matters worse and rub salt in the wound a little bit more, I then learned sort of in passing, like 2 seconds later, he's like, oh, we actually, yeah, like we're pretty devastated. We actually just earlier today got a puppy so that, our dog that we just euthanized would have a playmate, like a puppy to play with.
It's heartbreaking.
And I'm going, oh,
So they brought
my
a
God.
puppy in.
You brought a puppy
Their
home
dog
today.
got hurt.
So
They
upsetting.
took the dog to the vet, and they euthanized that otherwise healthy dog and went home to their new puppy.
And I guarantee you, and I did some checking around because I'm like, if somebody adopted these people a puppy that morning and didn't do enough checking into that, like they had a dog at home, my dog that was adopted from me 4 years ago or whatever, who was like recovering from an injury, my strong suspicion, and again, I don't know because shocking, there's radio silence now from them. My suspicion is dog had like a sore other back leg, was rough and tumble playing with this puppy the second that they brought it home, was genetically crappy. How often do they do both knees? Like I had a dog that did bilateral TPLO like a year apart, right? So often if they injure one, they're going to injure the other.
100%.
I bet anything she injured that other leg, and then it was like, oh, we just spent I am betting anything that dog that they brought home that day was from a crappy backyard breeder somewhere. Or it was from a crappy irresponsible rescue that did not do any of their background checking to realize that these people do not have the plan in place to handle an emergency veterinary event.
But it
yeah,
goes to,
that
like, it
puppy's
was
not getting
devastating.
insurance, that puppy's not getting veterinary
nothing.
care if something happens, that puppy's not getting,
How do you
whatever.
do that?
I literally am shaking. Like this happened weeks ago and I'm still shaking over this because we invest everything into these dogs, and every time that something like this happens, it feels like one of our own pets is leaving this earth, and it just highlights, and it's a self-reinforcing sequence because we don't trust people more and more and more and more every time that there is a huge gross violation of like, I trusted you with my baby and like you did wrong by
And people,
that
the
baby.
public doesn't understand that every dog that comes through our rescue, we love passionately. Like, they take a piece of our soul. That's what a rescuer is. It's different than a lot of people. We have this connection to it for whatever reason that every single one of these dogs is our dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like our very own. And when they are mistreated or they pass away or whatever the case may be, we truly feel it down to the depths of everything. And I don't think adopters and I don't think people understand that. And they don't have the concept of how can you love 1,000 dogs or 2,000 dogs? Like, I know every dog that I adopted out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember their name. I like.
Yeah.
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 I don't remember
I
my
mourn them
doctor's
when
names,
they're
but I
lost.
definitely remember the dogs.
And even dogs
I
that
know.
are like, oh, you lived to be 23 years old and you had the best life ever. I still cry like a baby when I get a message from an adopter from 5 years ago to say, you know, my senior dog finally peacefully passed. It's still like I remember every like minute that I spent with that dog. I remember where they came from. I remember their story, like all the things. Like,
And
people
also,
get
it's
it.
like, holy shit, I've been doing it that long.
Yeah.
Here's that too.
Yeah.
No,
That our
people
dogs are now
people don't
dying.
understand like how. And then I think the burnout that I am feeling now, like to bring this back to where Denise started this conversation, is like I know that I am bitter and that I am getting more and more guarded and less trusting of the people who are genuinely and sincerely and with all of the good intentions in their heart coming to me and saying I want to foster or adopt from you. I'm like,
Liar.
like how could you potentially
You
yeah,
liar.
how could you potentially destroy my heart and soul
Yeah.
5 steps down the road by doing something that just is like completely devastating to me and not what I would do because I don't know you and you're a stranger at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's
Stranger
like
danger.
and it's like but it's this downward spiral of like I feel like we're getting less and less effective at some point at what we're doing because I don't want to
'Cause we're
put
so
I don't
guarded.
want to put the feelers out to onboard new fosters. So I don't want to do the legwork that's necessary for me to be intaking another dog because once my wonderful fosters that I know and trust and love, you know, have foster failed for me after I had so many foster fails the last year. I'm like, the number of trusted fosters that I have now that I can text and say, hey, can you take a dog that I need to get out of the shelter by tomorrow is like 3.
Yeah.
Like, and they usually have a dog because the adoptions are really slow right now. So my
They
trusted
are,
fosters
yeah.
have dogs and everybody else has adopted. And it's like I can't trust strangers because strangers kill my dogs. And like I'm sad and scared.
And it's also a part of, I think, why we're all so guarded. Like, you know, like I know I just take and I'm just like, and you guys I'm just like that. I'm not an emotional person and I'm very monotone most times. And people are like, oh, what a bitch. But it's not, it's just who I am. I'm just flat. Like I'm flat. I'm emotionless. That's who I am. But like in the rescue world, like I know I always keep like 10 degrees of separate. I don't get emotionally invested in my fosters.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have some fosters that I love. Like they've fostered like so many dogs and we just have wouldn't say I don't know. It's a friendship. Maybe.
You have a vibe. You get to a place
It's
where
a
you just vibe
it's
with
a
people.
vibe. It's
Yeah.
its own vibe where, you know, we'll kind of sometimes have a conversation outside of rescue. We might have a social thing together. Wouldn't say they're friends, but most of my fosters, like I keep that degree of separation and I just don't want to be emotional with you. Like
Yeah.
But
I
you
don't
can't
want
be,
to.
because you have to be able to make decisions
And I have to make
with your head.
decisions.
So the moment, like I have a foster dog right now, and it's very difficult. I have 2 foster homes, one that just opened up, which I'll move him to, but I keep saying this. But you know, it's hard. It's gonna be, you know, now he's with me, and I think, you know, I'm taking good care of him. So it's hard for me to move him. I'm emotionally attached to this dog.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel that way about my foster dogs because I want to be able to make good choices for them. So yeah, that's probably
But a foster
that.
said to me the other day, like, I don't know who hurt you in your life to make you this way. And I'm thinking, fucking, if
much
anybody
time do you
did,
have?
it's
Can I
this
list for
rescue.
you? Yeah.
This did it.
Yeah.
This shit did it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to be your friend and I don't want to be joking and laughing.
Because
And
you're focused.
I'm focused on
You're
what I need to
focused
do.
on the
But
next
also
step,
you-
the next step, the next
And you
step.
have to compartmentalize that at some point because there are so many pieces of human beings' lives and like people forget too, like this is one piece of all of our
Yes.
big full lives and
Yeah.
like we all have jobs and kids and sometimes great. Like, there's so many things going on that people don't see behind the scenes. Like, when you feel really good about yourself saying who hurt you, to me, and like that feels satisfying to say because I said a spicy thing to you, like, great. But like, I'm onboarding that, and then I'm turning from rescue and then going back to like my screaming newborn and, wrangling my toddler for dinner and making plans for birthday parties on the weekend and, driving the car to get the snow tire. Like, everybody has life. And like, if we become so emotionally invested in not only all the dogs that we become attached to and emotionally invested in, but every single human being who wants a piece of like the personal side of us, like, we burn out on a social level that you cannot, I don't think anybody can sustain while you're also being just emotionally drained. Like, this is such emotionally taxing work. If you're bleeding at both ends, sort of on this like social, personal level, but also trying to maintain a level of like professionalism and like standards, I don't know, like, for your dogs, there has to be that
I don't
separation.
have more to give. I just
it. That's it.
literally don't have any more emotion or care to give. I've given it all. I'm done, and now I'm just like A, B,
Robotic.
C.
Working.
It's very robotic,
Yeah.
and that's all I have to give because my cup is over. Like,
Yours
I
is
am
definitely
full.
full.
I am full. Don't expect emotion from me because you're not.
Well, you don't really
You're
have
not gonna
time
get
for it.
I don't have
That's-
time.
to
I
be
don't have
honest.
time to be emotional.
Like,
yeah.
your day is like do. It's just you don't have a moment, to even, you don't have 10 extra minutes. So
Yeah.
See, I'm just really different then because I am actually really good friends with a lot of my fosters, but they've been with me since I started.
Yeah.
So we've now
But it's a friendship.
yeah.
You've got this great relationship with longstanding people. And I have some of my fosters too that have fostered 20, 30, 40 dogs for me over the years that you don't have to have tons of conversations with them, but
No.
they're easy and,
Yeah, yeah,
and there's more joking and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
ease and stuff.
Yeah, and
But
like
that's
I will
not-
do like but those people, and there isn't like a ton of them, right?
Yeah.
There's like a handful.
Mm.
But those same people are the ones that are like helping with fundraising events.
Yeah.
And
You're
like
a team.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
a team. We celebrate things together. We cry about stuff together.
Yeah.
We bitch about stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
those become your like, those
Yeah.
people become your like, those are I think that if you don't have a couple of those in your corner and people like this who you truly like resonate with,
Yeah.
your time in rescue is so limited because you burn out.
Yeah.
Like, you do.
And well, we were just talking about this with somebody that will hopefully eventually be on the podcast, but like you need to have, in order to succeed in the rescue world, you need to have supporters. Like you can't have, if everybody hates you, like you're going to really struggle.
You
You
can't
really
do
are.
it. You have to have
And like
an
it's
army.
different if like adopters or like the general public hate you, like that's different.
yeah, I don't
it's
know.
like-
That's different. That's still tough too. That
would
I'll
also
say.
be hard
no,
to
that
function.
is. But but if you have the support, like we have the support, then those instances are a little bit easier, right? But yeah, like I think if you don't have any support on this end or the other end, it's like, why are you even doing it?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to rally your troops, I am so thankful for every Mattie's Place social follower. Like, they are the biggest cheerleaders. And like someone said today, and I kind of laughed, but somebody said something snarky and like, why is that trazodone so expensive? Why'd they charge you? It's like 48 cents per, like, why is that? It's a one time I showed a
Why are you
cost. It
spending
was just a
time
few lines,
doing
and
that
right away someone
calculation?
was like, why are they charging so much for the trazodone? And someone else jumped in and they were like, you're not reading the room. This is Mattie's Place. Like, you're not going to get away with that shit here on this page. And I was just like, have at it.
Yeah.
Go
You got
for
this.
it.
You
I'm
got
stepping
this.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have such an amazing support system on our socials for sure.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started rescue and like that kind of stuff would happen, I would like just like days upon days of like dwelling
Yep.
and like
Guilt tripping.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of that stuff, right? And now if I see that kind of shit on her page, I'm just like, nah, they'll take care of it.
Yeah.
There's enough
Yeah,
people
I
that
have
like
people.
me that,
I have people for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like a nice place to be, I guess. But we get there from being decent people.
Yeah.
Like,
And not only just like from like your people online and you know, the keyboard supporters, which is like great and I love that, but we've talked about
Which are
this every
different than
podcast that we
warriors.
have filmed, but like I think these conversations and like having this group of people to bounce things off of, like I have had, to Denise's point that she opened with, like I was praying and hoping that 2025 would not repeat. Like we started this a few weeks ago being like 2025 was insane, like let's take stock. 2026 is not started really great.
It's
I
gonna get
must
better.
say.
It will get better.
But
Yeah.
I don't think that I
Who
would
told you that?
actually still be
the
functioning.
horoscopes.
Who told you? Yeah, who told you?
It will get better for you. It's gonna get better for
Yeah.
me.
What
Can we
what-
quote you
what-
on that?
what-
What's
You're
mine say?
Libra.
I'm a Sagittarius. What's mine say?
Oh, I don't know yours.
What's mine say? I'm an Aries.
I love Sagittarius, though. They're one of my favorites. They're fun.
Okay, I'm quoting you on
I am
if,
fun,
if
that's
nothing
right.
if
What are
nothing
you?
pans out, we're
What
gonna
are
hold
you?
you accountable. I'm an Aries.
Oh, it's gonna get good for you
Okay.
too.
Okay, promise.
Really?
Look at that,
Yes,
guys.
yes.
Promise.
And I don't
Yeah.
know anything about yours. But
when is it gonna get good?
they said not in the beginning of the year, but more towards the.
By December, for sure.
No.
By December 31st, it's gonna be all good.
That one day will be so fun.
No,
No, it's supposed to get better. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's
but
been
like no, I don't think I've asked all of you in the last couple of weeks, like at what point do you know that you're just done? Like at what point do you just feel so much
we'll take a break.
pessimism? That's what I when we've talked about this, right? It's like this is the point where you're just like, I gotta like at a bare minimum, like I'm closed for intake. I am not doing literally anything besides fundraising for the dogs that I currently have in my care.
Yeah.
And like we've talked at length about this, but like the trust that I had for you when you adopted your dog 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, I am praying and hoping that people keep that commitment to their dog that you
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
2 and 3 years ago, because the number of rescues that I'm seeing being like, oh, sadly, X, Y, and Z dog is back in our care again. And the number of times that that's happened to me, you guys have helped me very recently. I don't know how long we have to talk about Pepper, our friend Pepper.
it's not going well with
but that's
Pepper's
another-
foster, unfortunately.
Oh shit, no.
So you and I have to talk after. It's not the foster. It's
Okay.
going great with
Yeah,
the
the
foster,
foster loves
but there's a situation.
But that's a
that-
perfect example too, right? Of
Nice.
like I adopted. I'll try to do this as briefly as possible. I adopted a little spicy bully mix mutt from an
She is
Ontario
very much a
shelter.
terrier.
Yeah, she's a fun
Very-
girl.
Yeah.
But she's very much like for a specific adopter. Her adopter at the time was, you know, child free, lived with her mom, knew all the things about I can't just bring this dog home and do nothing with her. She's gonna need some training. I gotta upkeep her. The dog was coming out of a super experienced foster home who basically downloaded her adopter with all of the things, you know, this is our routine at home. I'm gonna come and give you a hands-on tutorial. She was set. We were confident about the adoption. It was great. She came back 2 years later and said, like, look, my life is completely changing. Like, I have a partner who has children. We want to cohabitate. Like, Pepper's really struggling. I don't have the time, the energy, the resources, all the things to like put into her what she needs. I don't have her foster, who she left 2 years ago, now runs her own rescue. So she's got a house full of dogs. She
Mhm.
can't take Pepper back. I don't have a stack of fosters who are
Experienced, yeah.
able and
Yeah.
experienced
She needs a certain
to
person.
be handling this dog. Denise, graciously enough, was like, let's get her into a board and train with Nicole for a minute. And then I, with a much bigger audience than you and with plenty of these dogs out in the world in good homes, like, we'll blast her and get her adopted through Maddie's place. She's going to be fine because you guys have supported me in that.
And Hillary gave me her foster.
And Hillary
Yeah.
donated a foster to the like,
Yeah.
this is how many humans
Yeah. for
in
this one
rescue
dog.
it's taking to make sure that this dog doesn't fall through the cracks. And like, I am the person who has to be like, ooh, I effed up with this dog. And like, I put her in a home that ultimately could not support her for the rest of her life. And, you know, now I'm going back at looking at my adoption application and looking at my interview process and looking at my, you know, home checks or conversations, whatever. And like looking back on that and being like, how do I
prevent it from
not be so wounded by like, oh, you didn't do right by my dog, that I can actually go back and be reparative in some way, I guess, of like, how do I make sure that we're failing forward so that we don't do this. But like, I don't know what I would have done if I had gotten to a place in rescue where I'm 5 years in and I don't have any mentorship or like people who will give me
Support.
the support, shoot me straight, tell
Yeah.
me like, cut your emotions off here and make this decision. Like, I literally don't know what I would be doing. I don't think I would be doing anything. I think I would have stopped.
Yeah. You would lose your mind and be so overwhelmed. And yeah.
And I see people operating now who don't have that support, and I'm like, how? And
why?
Why?
And like,
Yeah. Like, I feel like they're either just like sadists and their love.
which I don't want to think, and I don't think.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It is so weird to me because, like, I'm like, why have you not, like, what is in it for you that you continue rescuing? Because what you're doing is not rescuing. Like, what
Yeah.
these people are, some of these rescues are doing is not rescuing.
I know.
So yeah, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you in it?
We
And-
also have, I keep plugging all the upcoming podcasts, but we also have a controversial bully rescue that Nicole and I have been chatting with that's coming on the podcast. So maybe that's a good question to ask them on why, because they are getting
It's so
dragged
hard. Why would
dragged
you
through the
keep
mud.
pushing?
Yeah.
Why?
They have no
Yeah.
money. The dogs are being returned. It's just disaster after dumpster fire after disaster
Yeah.
after dumpster fire. And I
my
even sit back-
anxiety is like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I would be
That's
so.
That's the other thing is like, people watching that, like, we start to gaslight ourselves watching that, because we're like, oh my God, am I doing, like, are people looking at me being like, why is this person keeping going? She has a dumpster fire of like, it literally makes me sit and like look at my phone to be like, oh my God, I'm
Am
giving
I
that
a
away. And
dumpster
like,
fire?
am I a dumpster fire? Probably. Are we dumpster fires? We're all dumpster fires.
Yeah.
No, but it's scary, and it makes every day lately I've been questioning like, what is the purpose of this again? And like, do I have the like the guts to continue this? Because I wake up and I go to sleep most days just really frustrated.
Because I think especially when you're going through it, like your last 2 weeks or like whatever is happening, that whole like, rescue is like emptying the ocean with a teaspoon, right? You really start to kind of fall into that. It's like, what kind of difference am I fucking making? Like,
Yeah.
does this one dog that I'm helping, is it actually making a difference? But I think if we're going to continue, we have to not think like that, even though like obviously it comes in our heads, but we have to realize like we are making a difference in that animal's life, like, which
Yeah,
is
and I
so
think we just
hard.
need to keep pivoting to what like works for our rescue.
Yeah.
Like again, I'm not making any hard fast decisions, but I think I'm going to move away from owner surrenders and
Yeah.
move away from for sure medical owner surrenders.
Mhm.
There, the guilt sits on me because I know dogs will die, but we have so many shelter partners
dogs,
begging
yeah.
us to take dogs,
And if the trade-off is your mental health,
Yeah.
to the point that you
Yeah.
rescue, how many thousands of dogs is that for the next
but I'm leaving
several
rescue
years?
anyways. Like the reality is my goal was always like my retirement was at 50. When I hit 50, I was retiring.
Yeah.
I am 56. I'm still working when I was supposed to retire at 50
Yeah.
to keep my rescue afloat. Because if I quit work, I quit rescue. I don't have the funds to keep doing the rescue that brings me joy. I don't want to just bring easy dogs in, flip them, and that brings me no joy. I get joy from medical cases and hard cases and behavioral dogs.
Yeah.
That's why I do rescue. But my plan is already far surpassed.
Yeah.
And again, like January 1st, I gave my retirement notice. I'm still fucking going to work. Like, I can't get out of the cycle,
Yeah.
because shit, I just
Literally,
took that
like the mom-
$10,000
yeah.
puppy. I gotta keep going to work.
Yeah.
So my retirement is coming. I want to be young enough to still enjoy.
life.
And I was speaking to somebody,
Travel.
to Gladys from the Kibble Project the other day, and I said, when I was my retirement plan was big. Like it was gigantic. There was so much money. It was gigantic.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be the best
I have
in my life
plans.
ever. And then rescue kind of brought it down to, it's still pretty sweet. Don't get me wrong. It's a pretty sweet life.
Okay, so
but
when are
it's
we
not,
retiring?
I know. But it has to be soon because, like I said to Gladys, if I keep going, like my retirement is going to be like everybody else's retirement. And I've done all
That's
of
not what I
this.
planned
I've been
for.
married 4 times for nothing. I've worked this hard for nothing to just retire and like count pennies.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Yeah, yeah.
that, but rescue takes a lot of my personal
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
So yeah, something has to give. And then when you get all this shit from owners and all the nonsense, you go, why am I not just going riding off into the sunset? Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of done,
Yeah.
So
And the why is because we care a whole lot more than we can close
Yeah.
this door now that it's open and turn a blind eye because that's the case.
And I think too, the difference too is like, you're not just Maddie's place, you're Denise Angus. So when people tag or people look, and I'm the same way, like, yeah, I'm Hanks, but people tag me as like Nicole. Like, so it's like, how do I ever get away from, because I am just going to be like, nope, sorry,
Yep.
not in anymore.
Yep.
And where are we going to send them? There has to be good rescues coming up behind us that
Yeah.
we can send.
But
And how
there's
many
not.
times have you
There's
how many times have you over your years like been like, oh, I'm gonna take a break after this dog.
Yes, I
I'm
do
gonna
it
take
all
a
the
break.
time.
I'm gonna do like a
But I don't do
hard
it.
intake freeze
Freeze.
after this dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
This dog just really needs me, and then I'll just like hit pause. And then literally like you'll be going strong on your intake hold for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then like somebody will come a knocking on your door or messenger inbox and be like, oh, I have this dog that like really just needs like your specific rescue. I'm thinking of this specific whatever. And like you're like, okay, and I guess that break is done because
Or
this
you'll just
dog.
take an
Like,
easy one. Oh, that's
yeah,
an
yeah.
easy
And
one.
that
The easy
always,
one,
that-
never the easy
that
one.
always is the one that shoots you in the foot. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this one's good. This
My
one's
easy
easy.
ones have always
Always end
been
up
the
medical.
worst.
Yeah.
Where I go,
Oh.
oh, this one's gonna be easy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can make
yeah.
a couple dollars. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be nothing.
No.
It's the most expensive, most neurotic, most
always the way.
crazy dog
Yes.
ever.
So
Yeah.
rotting.
We're actually just running through time quicker than I anticipated. I just want to there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. So 7 weeks ago, we put out there, hey, what questions would you want to
Yeah.
ask rescues? And
What do the people want to hear, Denise?
the people
wanna know.
want to hear?
There's some good
Let me
ones on
find
here.
that,
Yeah, I like this.
Nicole. So I remember one, Denise Weigel, she's one of my fosters and longtime adopters. She said, the crate training dilemma. So many see crates as too restrictive. Many owners feel crate guilt as they return to the office. Some find it too hard to do and then rehome their destructive dog.
Yeah.
So as a trainer, why don't you talk to that?
Yeah, so I get this a lot, especially if people know that their dog came from the shelter and they're in a kennel environment. So crates, dogs are natural den animals. Like they love to have a safe space. So what I tell people is the crate should never be used for punishment or anything. It should literally be the happiest place in the house for your dog. So, all meals get fed in there. High value rewards, bones, lick mats, some like a puzzle or interactive toy. And if you find that your dog is struggling, which normally they will, even if a dog's crate trained, transitions are hard when they move to a new home, cover the crate. Don't leave them in there as long. Have music on, a TV, like I'll leave something on so it's not just complete noise, because then they are going to listen and just kind of get overstimulated that way. And then too, a lot of people will not, if they work from home, they won't crate. And I'm like, no, your dog still needs to crate even if you're home. It's even more important because otherwise you're going to deal with separation anxiety down the road. And the biggest thing is your dog will get over it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you make it the best place in the world, your dog 100% is going to get over them not liking the crate. Most, and you know this because we talk about it with some of the dogs that I train for you, is like FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. That's the majority of the reason dogs are freaking out in their crate. They're afraid that, they're missing out on something really fun. So, don't put your dog in there if you haven't taken it for a walk or played with it outside or whatever, right? Like, and then make it super fun for them when they go back in there. So, they're not leaving a fun thing to go into nothing.
True.
And then dogs will just naturally, like you'll see over time, you'll leave that door open and they'll just naturally go in there.
I'll be a super Debbie Downer, and I'll make it quick. But my dog Destiny had surgery. She had a corneal transplant and had a cone on. It was middle of July, and I had to go out for an hour. And my dogs have been always crate trained, and I made a real bad mistake, and I opted to leave her out because I don't know, she had a cone on, and I felt bad for her, and I didn't want to take her with me because it was so hot out, and I was like, oh, I'll just be an hour. When I left, she was so excited, sitting on the back of the couch looking out the window. It was the best day ever. I was leaving and she could stay out. Unfortunately, when I came back, she was in her crate, and she always runs to me when I walked in, and she didn't, and I knew something was wrong. And the eye medication that she was taking was in a long, sort of skinny plastic bag, and I took it when I was walking out. I live in a condo and had my little bag of garbage, and I remember putting it on top, but it must have fallen off when I was walking out. And being a miniature pincer, she was curious, got her nose in it, and the little plastic bag was on her nose, and with her cone on, she couldn't get it off, so she suffocated. Moral of the story being, my dog could have died anywhere in my home, and she took comfort in what I can only imagine would have been a horrendous time for her. She went into her crate, and that's where she found comfort, and passed away in her crate. So, nobody can say that dogs are uncomfortable in a crate. If they're properly crate trained, it's the most comforting
Comforting.
place for them to go and to be. And Destiny will always be that voice for that, because that's where she chose to go when she could have gone anywhere in my space. She went back to her comfort.
Yeah.
So crate train your dogs, and don't be afraid to close that door. If I had to just did what I always did with her, and when I went out, crated her and closed the door, she would be alive today, because I left her out. It was my decision and my bad judgment. So crates save lives, and a crate trained dog is a safe dog when you can't have eyes on. And, also if they have to go, if you're traveling, you take your dog's crate, and they always have that comfort. If they're staying at Aunt Sue's, it's comforting because they have their crate. If they have to stay at a vet clinic, I work in vet medicine, dogs that are post-op that aren't crate trained, they panic, they have to be kennelled when they're in recovery. And often we send dogs home sooner because they're panicking because the door is closed and they're in a crate. So crate train your dog. It's a gift. It's a true gift.
And especially dogs with anxiety, like it's such an easy thing to help with that. Like it literally gives them peace when you properly crate train. And people are like, oh, I can't listen to the whining. I'm like, put headphones on or go somewhere. Like just go somewhere else. Like it's no different than sleep training your baby, right? Like, are you gonna like run? Some people might run to their babies every time they cry,
But it's temporary too. Like to your previous point, like you can't handle the crying, but it will be for a few days, And then the crying will stop and you will give your dog the best gift of being able to chill while you're gone.
And if it's a matter of safety, so there are dogs that will try to get out, whatever, they make crates for those kind of dogs.
I talked to you about
right?
that. Yeah. The impact.
The impact crates. And you can even get them used. And they're like the actual impact crates are very expensive.
Yeah.
But like the aluminum ones and whatever, like you can get those on Marketplace for under $200 now. That's what we have. Like we have a bunch in stock.
But also crate train, like, don't just put your dog, lock your dog in an impact crate and walk away. Like you've got to train properly.
Yeah, and it should be a fun place. Like I wouldn't want to sit in a box with nothing in it either, right? So like your dog's going to get bored. Give it something to do. There's so many things that can go in a crate that are safe.
Lick mats, toy, all the things. Yeah.
Nancy Paquin, Project Sphinx, said, let's talk about French bulldogs and greeters.
I know. Do you want to leave that one for your breeder episode?
I mean, I'll touch on French bulldogs. One, I don't think that they should be bred. I think it's irresponsible. I think they've just been bred to filth, and there's nothing healthy about them.
So I know a French bulldog breeder in Alberta. We met during COVID, during like just French bulldog advocacy, that kind of stuff. She is an actual preservation breeder. Her dogs actually do dog sports.
Wow.
So like she actually, like, they don't have any breathing issues, like palate issues, nothing. Like
Only
they do
one that I've
sprinter.
ever in my life heard of.
And one of the girls I work with too at Nordic, she has a French bulldog, and Ashley, she adopted from me. Yeah. So her original French bulldog, he does like fly ball and
All the things.
And now that your guy has gotten that surgery, he's starting in that too. But but there are present. But I agree.
But as a whole,
Yes,
again,
as
like
a whole,
those, that's fine. And if anyone's looking for a French bulldog, reach out to Hanks Haven, and she can connect you with that breeder. And I'm not against breeding, but 99.9%
Especially in
of French
Ontario.
bulldog breeders are not ethical breeders.
No.
They shouldn't be breeding them. One of my fosters bought one from the Ukraine. And this dog breathes better than any dog I've ever known. Same thing, mind you, is kind of riddled with cancer right now. So it's a young dog. So even breeders have dogs with stuff. But breathing wise, it's bred properly.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're seeing. We just had Bob that we had to euthanize, a French bulldog. We did Boa's surgery. We did larynx surgery, almost $20,000. And the dog still couldn't breathe. So we had to euthanize him last week. So stop buying these French bulldogs from backyard breeders. We also have Crumpet, 8 weeks old, that the breeder went into the clinic and said, these 8 can be vaccinated and this one isn't thriving, so you can euthanize, and the euthanized one is Crumpet, who needed esophagus surgery, PRA. So just stop buying these French bulldogs. Like, just stop buying the French bulldogs because they can't breathe. They're not equipped. It's not snarling, snorking dogs. It's like they walk around with a plastic bag over their head.
Sad.
Yeah.
And if you are, buying one or even adopting one, make sure they have the Boa's surgery so their nostrils are opened up. Their, soft palates are trimmed so they can breathe. Like, make sure rescues are covering that cost, or your breeder, or that you're prepared to spend the thousands needed for that surgery so your dogs can breathe.
Yeah.
Dogs just trying to struggle to breathe is not cute and it's not funny. And we need to stop like buying these dogs, and you'll find them all on Kijiji.
Yep.
So stop buying them because
And to be clear, they're ending up like this because we are breeding them and breeding them and breeding them to look a specific way, because people want these dogs to have a whole bunch of wrinkles and the shortest possible snout. Like, when you look at these dogs from profile, you can see.
And they don't even have necks, and their heads are bigger than their bodies.
And their faces are completely flat. Like, it's so, to me, I'm like, even if you're buying a dog, I can't even entertain a conversation
So
at this point because you're funding.
So
Like,
I think
it's
even
abusive.
now, which is more of a issue than French bulldogs, are the micro bullies.
Microbully and like
Because
all the weird
those
hairless
guys-
things and the
Yeah, like,
haired, and like there's so
they're
many
like-
trends that are just like, these dogs are looking like
Yeah, they're bred to look like frogs, or like I don't
Toads.
even know toad. Like It's so ridiculous. I'm like, how does that the dog doesn't even
They
walk?
can't walk. Some of them literally can't walk that I've seen, and it's
And like
just so
last
sad.
year, I had a 5-month-old surrendered to us that died like, I don't know, 2.5 months later from heart defect.
Yeah.
And the breeder told me that it was documented on her records, as well as most of the other litter. And she's like, the vet said she's probably going to grow out of it. And I'm like, it's a grade 3 heart murmur. I highly doubt it. Oh no, that vet still sent all of those puppies. Mine wasn't, but like the one we got wasn't cropped, but the ones that she sold, the vet sent off to do ear crops with heart defects.
Of course they did.
Like,
But nobody should be buying bullies either. Our
my
shelters
God,
are
period.
overflowing.
Period.
Our rescues, our bully rescues are overflowing. There are too many, and yet there's so many unethical backyard breeders breeding these dogs. Like, just stop. Just stop. It's a big problem with our overpopulation crisis are these backyard breeders that are breeding bullies.
Yeah.
And there's litters upon litters upon litters that I know I turn down every day. There's just too many. There's too many.
And it's unfortunate because a lot of those dogs, a lot of those puppies are going to have behavioral issues.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they give a really shitty name to the breed. Because, especially when you get into people trying to dabble in American Pit Bull Terriers or Staffordshire Terriers, it's like you have 0 temperament tests going on, so you don't know what you're getting. And a lot of the people that are getting these breeds want them because they're high drive. And it's like, if you're battling with shitty genetics and a high drive, you're going to have a huge problem on your hand. Yeah.
And they're the people that are buying them should not have dogs.
No.
They attract the wrong person.
Yeah.
Chelsea MW, that's your Chelsea.
Yeah, that's my Chelsea.
Oh, okay. She has a lot, but I'll go to her last.
I know. I'm like, you can
question.
send it to me, but
Also, just your thoughts on what could get us out of this overpopulation crisis we find ourselves in. It's a big one. So, I'll say people still don't seem to understand the messaging that we are in an overpopulation crisis in Ontario. We have too many dogs. We have nowhere for them to go. There are not enough adopters. Rescues are at capacity. Hence why we don't need your owner surrender dogs, because we have so many dogs coming at us everywhere. There's too many dogs. That's in Ontario, and right across Canada. There are too many dogs. What's your opinion on how we get
breeding,
out of the...
stop importing, and adopt the older ones. Like, you don't have to
spay
have a
and
puppy.
neuter.
So,
Yeah.
adopt some of the older ones. You don't have to go out and get a puppy.
And if you want a puppy, adopt one. And if you want that breed of puppy, adopt one. Like we talked about this our first episode. Like, if you want a specific breed, there are breed specific rescues out there all over the place for all sorts of dogs.
Or literally message me and I can probably find it in a shelter.
And oh my God, yeah. And literally there are rescues out there. I'm sure many of us would be in this position right now where it's like, if I don't have the dog that you're looking for,
I can find it.
I probably could do like a little legwork, and I'm more than happy to send a couple messages to a couple of my favorite shelters and say, hey, if you have any labs come in the next couple of weeks, could you send me a message? Like, that's a very easy thing to find and do, that most of us at this stage in the game, because we're so desperate for people to stop buying every kind of dog that you can possibly imagine because it's easier, we're literally, I'm willing to do almost anything to convince you to adopt that dog instead of go and buy it.
Mm-hmm. I honestly think it comes right back to spays and neuters. I think there are far too many rescues that let their dogs be adopted out without being spayed neutered, and then they don't follow up. And I think there's far too many people that don't know the importance of not taking their unaltered dog places, and then it accidentally tying with something. So, or that dog, the kids let it out when it shouldn't have, and it got together with their other dog. Like, I think it should be mandatory when you get a dog. Like, I don't know. I don't, like, again, will that ever happen? I don't know. But
Doug Ford, can we talk to you about legislation around dog ownership? Please come on the podcast.
please come on the podcast. Yeah.
No, I'm like a
You've
little
got
bit
some
kidding, but like I'm a
slaining
little
to
bit
do.
not though, because at this point I don't, unless people actually are enforced to do this stuff. There
Yeah.
will always be people who won't. People don't understand how fast and how easily that shit happens. Like, people who are like, oh, like, it's fine. Like, my dogs are never alone and like, it's whatever. It's like, no, it's not whatever, because your dog will get pregnant for sure. Like, your dog's just going to get pregnant.
The two
Like,
dogs I just brought in, they were, the female was in heat, and the owner was like, they've never, locked. And when I picked them up, she was in heat, and I didn't know, and I had planned to put them both in the same foster home. It was evening, I didn't have time to, pivot, and I put them in the same foster home. I said, I'm coming in the morning, keep them separated. But I'm watching him get so close every time. I'm like, he's gonna lock with her. Like, how did this not happen before? So yeah, I can.
And you got her spayed like within a couple of
Immediately.
days.
I had
You
to do it
rushed her
quick,
in to get her spayed.
quick.
Yeah.
I'm not having, yeah. So
Which was the
Imagine.
super ethical thing to do, in case she was pregnant,
Pregnant,
for sure.
yeah.
To
I
get
was worried, but yeah, I definitely didn't want her to go through having puppies, because
And that's
hard
something
on
people
them.
don't, yeah, and that's something people don't realize too. And it is controversial, but so is, puppies dying on a regular, or shelters having to, or like, die on the side of the road or whatever. If your dog does get pregnant, you can abort, spay, or do a spay abort,
Spay abort,
whatever
yeah.
it's called.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sucks. It sucks, especially for the techs and the vet that has to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. So
But a dog is
instead,
pregnant for 60 days.
Yeah.
The first 30 days, I draw the line in the sand at bones.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if a
yeah.
dog if a puppy in utero has bones, then I won't spay abort. But the first 30 days, there's no bones. And that's halfway through the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you are ethical and responsible and you get your dog in, especially the rescues that are taking these puppy mill dogs, hoping they're pregnant
Yeah.
and delaying
You know that that dog's
spays, you
pregnant.
know there's a huge risk that dog is going to be pregnant, but they want to see these puppies. It's crazy. But go in and spay, abort go in for a
Yeah.
spay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get it done. You have 30 days still from the time,
Yeah.
it happens. Get it done.
and there's a lot of like
controversy.
controversy over like age, right? And taking away the hormones and all that stuff. But there is, and I don't know how to make this accessible to us, but is there not like a way that for them to, what do? Do they remove the uterus, but leave the
ovaries. I won't mention the name, but I had a great conversation with one of our board certified surgeons. And I said, I need a dog that was under their care spayed. The dog was coming into 8 months old. And I said, I need your clearance to spay her because she was quite a sick dog.
Yeah.
And he said, Denise, or they said, Denise, why do you want to spay her at 8 months? And I said, because I don't want her to go into heat.
Yeah.
And he said, why not? And I said, why? Like, what? Hello,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
And he said, well, my bitches, we've had a couple and we've let them have a couple of cycles. I said, okay. After my heart palpitations stopped, I said, let's break this down. So can you tell me, as an expert, because you are a board certified surgeon, can you point me in the direction that would give me the information that I need, that I would not spay this mutt at 8 months old, and why she should go into heat?
Yeah.
And he said, well, there's no actual papers that support my opinion.
Yeah.
I just think it's okay for them to have a couple of cycles. But, he said, I understand from a rescue perspective where that's not. So I said, just for clarity, there's no science, there's no papers, there's no studies that state specifically your female dog needs to go into heat for their health, to benefit their health. And he said, no, there's no study that would pertain to this dog. So go ahead and spay
perfect.
her. He
But
said,
the
"Go
person
ahead,
who
go ahead."
wants to use that piece of information to validate their choice to not spay their dog is going to use it.
They run with it.
And
they run with
that
it.
information in the wrong hands is
But you know how
literally
many
why we
times
still
too,
exist
I'll
and
like
will
client
always have a
dogs,
job.
their dogs won't be spayed or neutered. And I'll say, like, are they spayed or neutered? And they're like, no, our vet said to wait till they're 2.
So
That's
many.
a
But
problem.
there's wait till they're 12, wait till they're 18 months, wait till
So
they're
many different
I've had
standards.
vets tell people wait till they're 3 years old, and I'm like, what is happening? You
Oh my
want
God.
3 years of
Yeah.
heat cycles? Like, are
Or
you
your dog
people
like humping
crazy?
every single thing that they
And we
get
talked
their
about this
hands
last
on?
time too, but like this is why I think I did like 1 litter of puppies without spaying and neutering, that like with spay neuter contracts that said you will come back to my vet on this date at this time for your spay neuter surgery at 6 months, which is the earliest that my vet will do them. And I think I had 1 adopter push back on that and say we are not coming, and then they came back when the dog was a year and a half old and said, we're taking the dog to get neutered now, want to pay for it? And I said,
No.
nope, because your dog weighs 110 pounds now, and is an adult German Shepherd dog. And I sent the rest of that litter to get snipped when it was appropriate to do so, with a vet who has done this a million times for puppies that age at a risk level that they were very confident in, and you opted out. And now no puppies or adult dogs leave with a spay neuter contract
No.
because I
Yeah.
can't trust strangers to do what they
I
say they're
know.
going to do.
Yeah.
So that's
No,
that.
they get done. You wait a little bit though with your puppies.
I
but
wait
you
until
have
they're 8
different-
months
yeah.
old. But I will say my adopters are great. My
even said that
contract
to-
is solid.
To Fletcher's family today, I'm like, you guys are great. I knew you were great before I even came. Because
Yeah, what was
Fletcher?
they?
he
I
was-
know Twinkle. They
Yeah,
messaged
Twinkle.
me and they're like, his name is Fletcher now. I'm like, his name will always be
Be
Twinkle
Twinkle.
to me.
His
I'll
name-
never remember
Denise's dog
Fletcher.
names are like my favorite.
Yeah,
I love
Baba.
Rita, I love
Is
them.
it Ba or Baba?
Baba.
Baba.
Baba
yeah.
Black Sheep.
I know.
Yeah.
I got that.
Crisscross applesauce. Yeah.
I can't.
Monday,
I
Monday,
can't.
Tuesday, Sunday, and Monday.
But yeah, my adopters have always been good. I've only had a couple that haven't, but ultimately they lost and had to spay and neuter their dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
That's how we're gonna fix it, Chelsea.
Oh, and on
Spays
we're on
and
Chelsea's
neuters.
question too, and
yeah, what was
foreshadowing
Chelsea's
foreshadowing
question?
How we're gonna fix the
how are we gonna fix the
overpopulation.
overpopulation.
Sorry, Chelsea.
Foreshadowing an upcoming episode, which I know is going to be all on importing, so I will not
Yeah, we've got
crack that open. But like,
Yeah, we have to stop importing, not forever, just for now.
And
the
I
volume is insane while our shelters are full and euthanizing every Friday.
It's
I
about the
can't
money,
take it.
though. That's what
Yeah,
really,
the
really
importing
bothers
dogs are
me.
easy.
Yeah, it's
Fine,
not.
they come fully vaccinated,
Yeah.
full dewormed.
This is not rescue.
spayed
You
and
don't do
neutered.
rescue to get in, to make money. That's just
No.
not it.
They bring them
Makes
in and
me
they
angry.
flip them. They're retail rescue.
And then when there's a problem because they're coming straight out of a shelter and they really have no idea how they're going to be in a home environment, and the adopter wants to return them, there's nowhere to return them to.
No.
So
But
then
even
we
that,
have to
like-
collect them or not.
like that's not, to me, that is not like rescue. Like,
No.
how are they being adopted right out of the shelter in another country?
It's a mess.
It is a huge mess.
But the transport, like the transport companies make big bucks.
I
big
saw that.
bucks.
I didn't
Yeah, I
even-
sent you that thing. Like $1
Yes.
million a year they
But
were
we
making
talked
on
about that
transporting.
years ago for
They
a
make
minute.
tons of money transporting dogs
Yeah.
to Canada. And then you have the big corporations that are sponsoring, like Bissell. Nothing against Bissell. I love their little green steam cleaner if that's theirs. But like they're getting public relations and they're sponsoring, and then like the shelters here that are taking the dogs are getting paid a couple $100 a head for taking a dog.
on top of
But
the adoption.
sending
It's a
on top of the
machine.
adoption,
industry at
it's a
this point.
money
crazy.
machine.
It's crazy.
Importing is a money machine.
And that's
everybody's
what angers
making
me
money.
about that more than anything. That's
Yeah.
that
And
makes
I
me
need
mad.
people to look into, even if you're adopting from a shelter, look into where that shelter gets their dogs.
Yeah.
And like look into, is this an open intake facility, or is this shelter calling themselves whatever name pertaining to this place that we are located in, but bringing a whole bunch of dogs from outside of that community that they are claiming
But
to support.
also, like,
and-
how did they get the like the bio for the dog? Like, how are you telling me that the dog is this, and this, good with this, and this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's in a shelter,
You just
Mhm.
you would never know.
you would never know.
No.
Yeah, proper assessments aren't done. I mean, and I have a dog coming in that I am on intake hold and I stand by that, but I have a dog I committed to that is coming from another rescue that won't take their dog back, that was imported, that is problematic. And, this is the problem too. These importing rescues, they take these dogs in, they make their money, but they're not equipped to deal with medical or behavioral, or they're equipped to flip the dog.
Yeah.
So when the owner wants to surrender the dog back, they disappear because they're
They
not
probably don't
equipped
even
to take
have
it back.
fosters
They don't
here.
have
You know, they
fosters.
probably, a lot of them adopt them right off of the transport. Come
Absolutely.
with your leash and collar and get your dog.
And I did when I 8-9 years ago, I did Texas rescue during, the hurricanes and all of the things. And
I heavily rescued from Georgia.
yeah, but it was like not a long-term plan. It wasn't going to be a forever plan. It was to help out. Anyways, we have 6 minutes left. I just want to touch on puppy yoga
Oh God.
because it's such a
You remember that video I sent of you with the
with the dogs pooping everywhere.
It wasn't just, it was like
So I've seen
water.
this for a few years now, and there's one that opened up in Leslieville recently, which is crazy. It's in my neighborhood, so
There's one in Muskoka. It's called
They're
Muskoka
everywhere.
Puppy Yoga.
yeah, they're everywhere. I was really disappointed when rescues started doing it because I just think it just exploited these puppies, and I think most rescues have stopped doing it.
Yeah, we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was from a good place, but then I swear people saw like a business opportunity,
Yeah.
and now they've turned it into their business
Right.
model. Yeah,
Right.
and they're getting the puppies from.
So yeah,
Backyard
so like
breeders.
Yeah.
these people are like, oh my God, it's so cute. I'm gonna go to yoga and I'm gonna have these puppies on
That
me.
was not cute. What I saw, that was
And they
pretty
and they
gross.
promote it as like you're doing, the people there for yoga are doing it a favor to those puppies. They're so getting to be
You're
socializing
them
and all this stuff.
handling them and getting them used to
And I can
multiple
guarantee you
people.
that like every single one coming to yoga has no idea where those fucking puppies came from.
Yeah, so people need to, the questions you need to ask the yoga studio that's doing this is, where are the puppies from? Because you're probably supporting backyard breeding. I know they're doing, today they did bulldog,
English
my God.
bulldogs.
English bulldog yoga in Leslieville.
And they're like fashion colors. So it's
yeah,
like,
they're not even, there's no preservation breeding there.
no.
So these are unethical breeders that are in bed with these yoga studios, and everyone's making money off of you going to yoga.
Exploiting puppies.
I've asked them multiple times, like, how are you cleaning in between? What's the disinfecting protocols? We are in a crisis.
What's the
with-
vaccination protocols for those puppies?
we are in a crisis with parvo, distemper, lepto here in Ontario. These puppies are not coming in with 3 rounds of vaccines and deworming. They are coming in, like, parvo will live on every surface. And then, like,
In the
it-
ground even.
yeah, it's impossible to clean. You can say you're cleaning the studio, but if that puppy has left anything, a little splatter on a wall, on a piece of equipment, the next puppies coming in are at risk.
Your dog
Um,
at home is at risk if
your-
you go and touch those puppies and
Everything
then bring
that's
home
on your
parvovirus on your
clothes.
clothes. Like, people do not understand the risk.
Rescues have done events, and then, a week later, puppies that have been at those events have broken out with distemper and
Yeah.
parvo. So, if you're going to support that, I think, you need to think twice. It's not cute. It's not adorable. These puppies are being exploited for profit. And ultimately, when you have a studio that has puppies coming in and in and in and in, and all these
That's
puppies
the
and all these
problem.
people
It's
and
the
all
same
these dogs.
space.
Yeah, like, I do backstage events with Live Nation.
Mhm.
I bring puppies, but I can tell you there are rules, there are regulations, it's 2 hours, it's stringent, it's wash your hands. It's like the protocols are and we're not having the same puppies in the same
This is
place.
the difference, I
like,
do TIFF,
ever.
and it's a clean new environment. Maybe a little bit. I might be exploiting them a little bit, but it's clean. I'm not going to have to worry about these puppies contracting parvo or passing it on to.
It's so controlled, and there
It's
aren't
very-
puppies
yeah.
coming up the next day, or there weren't puppies
No.
there the day
Yeah.
before. So this puppy yoga, as more and more businesses are it's a business model, and they say on their website that they use rescue puppies. They're not. There's no rescues that are
using
The
using
language
this.
around all of this shit is getting so problematic to me. Like, people are comfortable saying I adopted my dog if they went on Kijiji, or I rescued my dog if they went on Kijiji and saw somebody trying to rehome or sell their dog because they bought a dog from a puppy mill that they then needed to get rid of. It's like, I rescued my dog from Kijiji. No, you did not.
Yeah.
You purchased a dog that was being rehomed from a puppy mill. Like, you did. You are not using rescued puppies for puppy yoga. You are using dogs that a rescue purchased or paid a ransom fee to a puppy. That's another thing that we have going on. It's like there are rescues who are just at this point like taking
brokers.
their
puppy
puppies
brokers.
from the same
They're buying
mills
puppies.
or backyard breeders and being like, oh well, I can't force someone to spay or neuter their dog. So like I'm just supporting this owner and like doing the right thing for the puppies that they can't sell. And what you're doing is enabling them to continue breeding. Like, and then those puppies are going to puppy yoga and under the guise of I have rescued puppies at puppy yoga. And everybody who pays their $25 thinks that $25 is going to fund something honorable.
Or people don't even think. They just go and want to enjoy.
And just
Yeah.
wanna, it's probably not even that deep. I'm overthinking it.
But
not
it's
that
like
deep. They
if
just want the
you're
cute puppy.
if on like Folgers coffee now, they have to put like ethically sourced.
Right.
Like, why are people not thinking about that when you're going to an event with animals? Like, were those animals ethically sourced that you are now letting crawl all over you, that you paid money to go see? Like,
We have to start being more responsible.
And the more that there are puppy yoga studios, that's part of the overpopulation crisis because it enables people to continue breeding. They're in
Making
bed with a
money.
different money
Yeah.
source. People are buying puppies from these yoga sessions, and it's a disaster.
Priority becomes the money or the yoga instead of the puppy.
Yeah.
So that's problematic.
So stay away from puppy yoga. It is not ethical.
Please.
Ever, never, never. Okay, that's it for
That's
us.
a wrap,
Any last
ladies.
words?
Be nice to
seeing
us.
you
We're all
guys again.
sad.
We're all sad.
We're all sad and tired today. Just be nice.
Yay, Hillary for driving herself.
Hillary drove
here.
Nicole was late. Isabel was Isabel. And this really is Rescue Chat Unfiltered because this is really how we just talk. Hillary's gone.
She's already leaving. Bye.
Going pee, I think. This
Thanks
is
for
how it
having us
goes.
again, Dean.
Thanks, Dean, for having us in your living room again. And we've got lots of great episodes coming up. We've got trainers, we've got breeders, we've got a bully rescue, we've got some good 2 shelters. We've got some good stuff coming up. And I apologize that I fell a little bit behind with getting one done, but it's
You're not very busy, so how dare you?
it's been,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, that's a wrap.
Thanks,
Thanks
guys.
guys.